Hi everyone, this is Jana Pahowski from The Accountable Mindset. Welcome to today's live. It's great to have you here. And the topic of today is one of the topics in the series, preparing for next year and preparing to get ready really for achieving goals next year. And today's topic specifically is building on last week. So last week we spoke about how to plan for next year, what you want to achieve. And the challenge recurrently in that context of planning is actually how to set a successful goal. So today what I want to focus on is what does a successful goal look like? Why are some goals better suited to be achieved than others? And how to make sure that the goals you set are achievable and you can really hit them as part of your next year planning. So when I spoke last time about how to prepare for next year, I shared with you a template. So I hope you had a chance to look at it, at what you want to start, stop, continue, and carry over or not from this year into next year based on what you have learned, what you have achieved, and all the lessons that you've learned. And today, when it comes to goals, I'm wondering if you have been thinking during that exercise about some goals that you wanted to achieve, still want to achieve this year, but you haven't been able to do that for whatever reason. And I know what frustration, disappointment, missing a goal can really bring with it. I've been there many times. And actually, it's not always about not putting the effort in or not having the skill to do it. Recurrently, when you look at goals, why we miss them is actually that the way how we've set them, how we've defined them, there is no way that anyone could have achieved them, neither you, nor myself, nor someone else. There's just no way that that goal was set out, was defined in a way that made this goal achievable. And there are two different strategies I want to cover today, how you can actually define and set winning goals. And these are two not very different strategies, but strategies that focus on slightly two different elements within goal setting. So the first strategy I have spoken about before, and it's called the SMART goal setting. So the modern goal setting as such has been researched since the 1960s, so it's a relatively new way of looking at goals, the way how we understand and set goals today. And from the 60s, and building on that initial research and work, someone called Peter Drucker published an article in the 1980s, so about 20 years later, talking about how to manage by objectives. And this is where really the focus started shifting onto outcomes and how to set and achieve smart outcomes. And the challenge and the focus for him was specifically to look at how to make goals more achievable. So what he defined at that point in time is the concept of a SMART goal, SMART being an abbreviation. And that abbreviation SMART standing for S for specific, M for measurable, A for achievable, R for realistic, and T for time bound. So these are the 5 different elements that, according to Drucker, make a great goal achievable and successful and a winning goal. So I will add a link where I speak about this in more detail if you're interested in setting the goals in a smart way, and think about how this can apply to making the goals you're setting for yourself more successful. And the challenge with SMART goals, however, is that they are independent. They're completely independent entities that are set without a bigger context. And when someone called Andy Grove, so he was one of the co-founders of Intel, worked with Drucker's work and the concept of SMART goals, he then also looked at actually that setting a SMART goal does not have a context. And this is actually something that would help people to make goals winning goals. So what he has defined at that point in time is the concept of OKR. And these are objectives and key results. And this is a concept that has been very, very widespread especially in Silicon Valley and the companies that have been set up more recently. And the way how it works is that there's an element of time bound already baked into the OKRs in the following way. So first of all, the objectives are being set on a quarterly basis. And the quarterly objective is something related to a challenge or an opportunity that the business has. So when you think about it, in your business, what is the objective that you want to achieve in the next quarter for yourself, for your business? And an example could be, for example, increasing a profit. And I come to how this translates through OKRs as well. So the objective in the OKR, the O is the objective, is something that's a quarterly opportunity or goal to be achieved, a challenge to be addressed. And the key results, the KR in the OKR concept, is really the outcome, the focus for why this particular objective is, what this particular objective has to achieve, and how it's going to be measured. So basically, what is going to be the output at the end of achieving that quarterly objective? What is the key result going to look like? And with that example I mentioned of an objective being increasing profits, the key results, there are three key results that someone could define. So first of all, to increase the profit, you could look at increasing sales by 10%. Also to improve a profit, you could look at reducing the cost in the business as well. And the third lever and third key result to increasing profit could be innovating a product, a service, and providing to the market, selling something that has a higher profit margin than any of the other products or services that you have been already offering to your clients. So overall, this is the example that really helps to understand what the objective and key results concept looks like in practical terms. So what I would say is that, have a think about what you're more comfortable with, what's most suitable to how you're setting goals and objectives for your business, whether you do this within a bigger context and you want to do it quarterly through objectives and key results, or maybe setting a bigger annual goal and breaking down into milestones that are all SMART is something that will work better for you and resonates better with you as well. So there is no better or worse between the two concepts. It is really about what works for you and how you are going to define a winning goal and a goal that is going to take you further towards the vision that you have for your business and for your life. So do let me know if you have any questions related to those two ways of goal setting. So that's, as I said earlier, it's part of the series I'm doing this month in preparation for next year and for a successful 2022. And if you have any questions related to goal setting, the two strategies, either the SMART goals or the OKRs, objectives and key results, do let me know now, or you can post it in the group as well. One of the questions that I've had before was someone saying that they were not sure what would happen if they did not achieve a goal. So, of course, this can happen, whether it's for external reasons, something we cannot control or influence, or whether in some cases the goal has been too ambitious and actually we have not been able to get 100% there. The most important thing is that we set ourselves point of reference. A goal is always a point of reference, and it's not the measure of success. Of course, ideally is achieving that goal. However, what's very important to remember is that sometimes failure can be an element in our success as well. So sometimes not achieving the goal does not mean that we haven't achieved anything. We might have not achieved the goal, but we might have learned very valuable lessons. We might have gained very valuable contacts, and we actually might have laid foundations for a future success in our business. So it's not about whether we are always going to achieve the goals or not. It's about setting an ambition, something we want to achieve in the best possible way, in the way we believe we can achieve it, and then managing accordingly to get the best possible result as close to the objective as possibly we can. And if we don't quite achieve it, to learn the lessons. And again, with the start, stop, continue template, that can be very helpful. Really understand how can we do better next time. So really build in this continuous improvement loop. And I had this conversation with one of my clients today, how important these continuous improvement loops are in the business cycle and planning and goal setting, and really in the success of a business. So with that, I'm going to conclude this particular session. And next week, we're going to be talking about another element of preparation for next year. And that's how to actually make the goals happen. So assuming that at this point in time, you are planning, you have started planning for next year. Now you are going to be thinking about what your goals have to look like, whether they are SMART or OKR. And the next step is then going to be, once you have them, the next challenge, of course, is how to make these goals happen, how to make them part of your everyday life, of your routine, and really deliver them, get as close to them as possible, ideally achieve or overachieve them. So I hope I will see you next week. And in the meantime, let me know if you have any questions at all in relation to SMART goals, OKRs, or anything else that you need for setting up for success for next year. And thanks very much for being here and watching today. See you next week.